Shalom, Mishpocha, coming to you today, April the 8th, 2021, as we are pausing to remember the Shoah, the whirlwind, the Holocaust. This morning at 10 a.m., as the sirens wailed in Israel, the entire nation went still for 2 minutes in remembrance of the 6 million of our people that were destroyed in the Holocaust in the late 30s and through 1945 in Germany. The essence of what we pause to remember goes far beyond Yom Hashoah pogroms or inquisitions. We use the term Shoah because the origins of the term Holocaust is ancient Greek, olos meaning whole, and kostos meaning burnt. So apparently as early as the 5th century BCE, the term means a sacrifice wholly consumed by fire or a great destruction of life by fire. So the term Holocaust is a religious animal sacrifice that's completely consumed by fire and appears widely in religious writings throughout the centuries, particularly for descriptions of pagan rituals involving burnt sacrifices. So we prefer to use the term Yom Hashoah, the day of the whirlwind, and it's always, this day of remembrance is always one of pain and suffering and great emotion, and I believe that we will never fully know or comprehend the atrocities, the sick and warped sadistic acts that were done, because if they were exposed and told, few would even comprehend or believe it. There are evil, violent acts that people do to one another that normal civilized people cannot comprehend or even believe that one human could do such horrendous, violent, evil things to another human. And it's alive and well today, this anti-Semitism. It's at an all-time high, as a matter of fact. And this has been interesting as we're coming through a year of COVID now, that although there are the physical acts of anti-Semitism are down 37%, 16% of injuries are down. But yet we've seen a great increase in vandalism, and we believe this is because of the lockdown. And so what we're seeing is people spray painting synagogues, spray painting Jewish cemeteries. But as we begin to ease the restrictions of COVID, we'll begin seeing this rise of anti-Semitic behavior. And why is that? Well, you know, in reality, this comes to the understanding that Yeshua, Jesus, the Messiah of all humanity, was Jewish. And so the tenets of this, the foundations of anti-Semitism, came straight from the pits of hell. And so these things that are done by evil people, they serve their master, who is Ha-Satan. And so we have to be vigilant. Vigilance never takes a break. There's no day off for vigilance. And so through training and education and teaching, we say never again. We will never go in to repeat this horrible moment. And I don't believe there'll be another Holocaust. Other people believe other things. I think that that time and season is over. Doesn't mean there's not going to be anti-Semitism. I just don't believe there'll be another Holocaust, as we understand that happened in the 40s in Germany. And so we must move forward. It's interesting to me that in the Southwest Pacific Rim nations, and listen to me very carefully, that don't have exposure to your Greco-Roman education system, because the superior race, this Aryan race that the Nazis had, this go all the way back to Peter the Great and the Macedonians that believed they were a superior race and destined to rule the world. Sound familiar? And so this education, this kind of understanding is thread all throughout our education system. And it's being same with homosexuality, same with racism, anti-Semitism. It's all bundled together in this classic Greco-Roman culture that we use for our education system. Because the Southwest Pacific Rim nations that haven't been exposed to this type of education system, their culture doesn't have these inherent stereotypes. They don't understand anti-Semitism or racism. They don't base their judgment of people upon their skin color, hair color, or eye colors. And so this tells us that we have to root this out, that we have to stand strong and not just say never again, but go to the roots of it to get rid of it so these type of things will not happen again. We know there will be hatred. We know there will be persecution. What will truly end this all is the return of Messiah and the establishment of his kingdom upon this earth. Until then, let's be aware, let's teach, let's train. We have an entire generation being raised up right now that have very little background understanding of the Holocaust. Many don't even believe that it happened. As we get into different forms of history and it's being rewritten, this is the danger in this, rewriting history, that now people don't believe or don't know about the Holocaust, how it got here, and what horrible in nature it is, how horrible it really was. And so, again, we have to be aware, we have to teach, we have to train, we have to stand together as one. And on this solemn day, we remember those 6 million that perished in the Holocaust in the Yom Hashoah. We remember them. We remember their memories. We remember their names. And may the Lord God of Israel bless the families of those that have been lost in this horrible event, and let him bring a healing grace through the blood of Messiah Yeshua to give us a shalom that surpasses all understanding. On this Yom Hashoah, may the Lord bless you and keep you. Shalom.